Right, okay, Druanna, I'm recording the audio on here. I don't know if Livestream records it automatically or what, I have no idea, but we'll have to figure that out sometime later. But at least I'm going to get the audio. So, what, what, what's the latest? What's been happening? Because you sounded really excited earlier on when you were talking on Facebook.
Well, I tend to understand what you. Yeah, well, I was really excited because a lot of things are happening that since we last spoke, um, and it was actually pretty awesome. There was a lot of things that happened, but it's just I'm a little grumpy now because today I don't know what it is, but my back has just been killing me, and I don't know why. My husband and I we went out went out to Rosarito and had my mother-in-law watch the kids, and him and I actually got to go out in months, really go out. And I think I had a little too many sugar drinks, hard liquor, and maybe it affected my kidneys. So like my kidneys are hurting right now, and I am not a big drinker at all. Like we haven't drank in years, like really. Well, the last time we drank it was Cancun, and that was like months ago, and we swore we're never going to do it again. But we didn't even drink that much last time here, and I don't know what happened, but my back has just been killing me. And then yesterday, my eyeball was hurting, my left eye, because I'm going through that corneal erosion, and I decided I'm going through a major detox. So now that I'm going through a major detox, and then all of a sudden now my kidney thing is hurting. So I'm thinking, that's probably what it is. I'm going through a major detox here. This is not cool. But anyway, besides all that, let's get to the good part, okay? Um, this is what's happening. Last time we spoke, Chelley, we were hanging out in Second Life on the magic mushrooms, just chilling. And we're talking, and I was sharing with you the holosync, and I said, yeah, you need to listen to some of that holosync, get your meditation on. And I shared it with my friend Christy Schaefer. She's hooking up to that, because I feel that there's just so much going on right now. There's a lot of racket going on in the external world, which also, reflects within the internal world. And the funny thing is, after, we spoke, I was talking to Christy, and she's really into, the whole, sovereign movement as well. And she's finding a lot of really interesting remedies. She was doing the EFT, just a bunch of stuff, and then telling me about the dinars, about the currency, because, the bank is about ready to go under here, because we know what's going on with the Cyprus, what happened with Cyprus and Greece. And she was like, you really should start putting money away into the dinars, because when the dollar goes down, then the dinars are going to be worth a lot of money, and you should start putting money away for that. And I guess they've been saving money for the past few years, and I'm like, wow, that sounds like a good idea. So I started kind of getting excited about it. And of course, when you're in meditation every day, what happens is your desires tend to come to you pretty quickly. Okay, so when you're in meditation every day, all of a sudden things start coming your way pretty darn quick, and you don't. Oh my God, that scared the crap out of me right now. Holy crap! There was a cat at the sliding glass door. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry about that, everybody out there. There was a cat out there just staring at me. I'm like, what the heck? Oh my gosh! And we have like a gated, house and everything. Oh my God, that freaked me out. Sorry. Okay, running along, moving along here. I guess even the animals are listening to what I have to say, huh? It's that important. It's an important event. Pretty soon a coyote's going to show up at my door. So let's get to it.
Transfer complete.
Okay, let's get to it here. So anyway, so we're talking about, currency, and I'm talking to my husband about the dinar, and I'm getting kind of excited about it. I'm thinking, God, we really should start doing that. And I put it out there in the universe. So what happens is, we're emotions. Everything that we say, it's not even much of what we say, it's how we trigger with our feelings. Our feelings is what makes things happen. So my feeling towards the dinar was triggered with excitement, and that's all I can think about. And then I go into my meditation, and then the next couple days after that, I find something with Cliff High. I've been listening to him for some time, and lo and behold, he's talking about Bitcoins. And I'm like, whoa, what's that? And so I start looking into that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go about currency again. You know, we're talking about currency again, and about the Cyprus thing, and how a lot of people in Greece and Spain and all these other countries are actually using Bitcoins, and they're making really good money. Like, I mean, they're making a living off of it. Just like gold, you know, has some type of value and it moves up in value. Well, the same thing with Bitcoins, which is considered a digital currency. Moved up from $180 per Bitcoin. It just went up to $230 or $240 per Bitcoin. So the currency's going up, and then you get a lot of arguments, and I've heard a lot of arguments from other people saying, oh no, this is not the real thing, this is not the real currency, this is, you know, a joke, and da 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 da. But when you think about it, and I also put a video about it, you know, on the currency, I'm thinking, well, heck, what do you call Federal Reserve notes? They're IOU debt notes that were backed up by hard labor, because they're chattel notes. That's all they are. They're used for imprisonment, imprisoning us. Federal Reserve notes, you know, UK IOU notes, Euro IOU notes, whatever. They're all IOU notes, and they're not backed up with anything. So, I mean, when we got taken over in the United States in 1933, it was a terrorist attack. Therefore, they took all of our gold and silver, and you know the whole story. 1933, you know, we had certificates that were, you know, connected to our golden coin or gold and silver in our banks. So our, you know, our certificates that we were carrying around with us were backed by all those precious metals. And then here they come and rape us, the Federal Reserve and whoever, and which is a total terrorist attack, and said, no, you're going to use these or else you're going to go to prison. I mean, like, who the hell are you? Who made you God to say that you could take my stuff from me? So that's what happened back then. Now, and here we are, folks, we're vibrating with this type of energy. And, you know, and I've gotten a lot of comments, especially when I've done my little vision boards and stuff, and then I have money on there. And I'm grateful for the comments. I mean, some of them that I didn't agree with, but now I do agree. Even more, like when you put money on there, what are you doing? You're putting Federal Reserve notes or debt notes. You know, why would we want to put money that we want more of that? No, we don't. If anything, you want more of gold and silver, right? Or Bitcoins now. Things that are actually, that have high value, and not only, and what makes it valuable is the fact that we're using it, that it's very flexible to use. You know, like, okay, the Federal Reserve note, sure. They're chattel notes, they're IOU notes and debt notes, and you're always going to be poor every time you use them. But the cool thing about the debt notes, they were very flexible. You weren't carrying a bunch of golds and silvers around, and they're so darn heavy to carry. So therefore, yeah, you could put it in your wallet. Well, Bitcoins are basically the same thing, except for they're like gold. They have some very high value. Why? Due to the flexibility and the usability of it. You know, just like the iPhone and the Android, we're constantly using these, you know, the currency. We're constantly, I mean, using these devices, and it's becoming so easy to use, which is very, very, it's like as fast as your thoughts, okay? Just like the email and the internet. And each Bitcoin holds major value. So it's very interesting how we're moving away from that, and they're not being, you know, controlled by the central bank. They're not being controlled by any government or any bankers, and therefore you become your own banker. You have your own bank account, which is you, and you're able to transfer the money to your friend or whoever, and there's no fee. Or very extreme minimal fee, if even that. Maybe just to transfer, like to exchange your money from, let's say, euro to Bitcoin. But as far as, you know, transferring it over, I mean, you're not being hit with all these stupid charges that the banks like to use on you. Every time you use your card, your Visa, they want to charge money. Like today, I used my Mexican Visa card here in Mexico, and they wanted to charge 4% on my. I'm like, that's my own money. They want to charge you, always wanting to make money off you. So with the Bitcoins, I think this is going to be a huge revolution, and people from all over the world, they're already jumping in on it. I've also joined some type of group which is called RevShare. It's RevShare Bitcoin, and basically, you know, you just put one little donation. It could be $5, you know, it could be up to $50, whatever you want to put in there. And basically what happens is it's like a pool, and a tier pull, and they pull in all this money, and then we get a percentage of it like every month. So therefore you're saving on some type of Bitcoin, a percentage of it. So it's kind of like giving it off a percentage of, let's say, gold, you know, and you know the precious metal is going to go up in value, just like the Bitcoin is going to be going up in value. So it's not like you're putting $1 or $2 or USD dollars or pounds in your bank account and then they don't accumulate in value at all. So this is actually a big major step, and it's just so funny. Again, after we spoke, Chelley, you know, we're talking about what to do, how to make the world a better place through meditation. You're telling me your situation, how you're thinking about going somewhere in Scotland to, you know, learn about some places and, you know, to free yourself from what you're going through right now. And
right, it's going again. It should refresh in a minute because it appears to have stopped at this end. I think for some reason, maybe it's because I'm a free member, and it appears that free members maybe only are limited to 30-minute sessions or something. Right, anyway, let's carry on. Let's carry on.
Okay, so basically, you know, we're talking about the Bitcoins and all that, and, you know, I think that's very, very exciting, and it's just amazing, like just you and I talking, and then talking to my friend Christy, who's doing the EFT and all that stuff, and, you know, she's finding out about some really interesting information as far as how you go to the banks and you ask for like an off booking account information with I think the FAS. Shoot, I don't really know too much, but it's basically like you're asking for a certified audit of the account, because what you're doing, you know that they're fake, you know, they're fraud. Everybody's operating in fraud. The whole Federal Reserve is a fraud, and the whole thing's a fraud. Okay, so we know it's a fraud. Okay, good. That's the number one thing. It's like kind of being an alcoholic. You know, you're identifying that you're an alcoholic. Okay, cool. You're not in denial. So it's the same thing with us. Cool. We're not in denial. We know that we are being operated by a fraudulent government. Okay, so that's the number one thing. But to keep on at them constantly, oh, you know, please, you know, discharge my debt, you know, discharge my this, my that, and it's not even your stuff in the first place, but they make you believe that because we've been so freaking programmed to believe that is our debt. And of course, at the same time, if you do not pay them, then what do? They go after you. They go after your house. They go after all the things that you thought was yours, like your car. All these things you thought that they belonged to you. Well, they never did belong to you. So they go after it. They go after your kids, okay? So of course, you know, you're trying to discharge your debt or whatever you think is yours. And so let's get to the point here. It's the bankers, you know, they have all this control over the people. So now, you know, the good news is we're now finding out some stuff, you know, looking at Cyprus, looking at Greece, looking at all these other countries, especially Cyprus, that, I mean, when they found out that their money was stolen by the bankers, looted, but of course they're trying to be nice and say, well, you know, maybe they weren't doing something right, and maybe, you know, they weren't running something properly. You know what? Hey, they sold your money, dude, okay? Came in and took your money. You know, one day you had a lot of money in the bank and you thought it was your money, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's gone. And I feel that that's what's going to happen coming over to the United States and then eventually here in Mexico. It's happening in Europe. It's going to happen. It's bound to happen. So what's going on? The good news is people are jumping on it. You know, people have known about this for some time. They have invested money in gold and silver, which is the precious metal that is backed up with something, of course, of value. And something else that they're putting their money into, and it is the Bitcoin, which I'm finding out is to be absolutely phenomenal. The Bitcoin is making the wave it is the wave of the future. And, you know, Bitcoin last November was at what? One Bitcoin was like at $40-something. Now Bitcoin, I mean, yesterday, Bitcoin was at $180 per Bitcoin, and now today it went up to $240 per Bitcoin. Why is that? Why? Because again, it's whatever we give value. It's value. Gold is, we give value to it. You know, Bitcoins, we get value to it because it's so user friendly. It's so flexible. And it goes along with the sign of the times. Look at the email, look at sending emails to one another, internet. And so with Bitcoins, you are going to have that same flexibility. And again, it moves up in value. And unlike the US dollar, unlike the euro, unlike the pound, all of those things are ball and chain over us to believe that we need those things to survive, and we don't. And same with us. And like I was saying earlier, Chelley, you know, you're relying on the government to feed you. We're relying on the government to feed us. My husband's was in the military. He's going to school full time so that way he can get paid doing something he's not really interested in doing. You know, we're trying to live. We're trying to survive right now. Same thing. You know, all of us are pretty much on the same boat. Any one of us who are relying on Federal Reserve notes and paper money and fake money, that we are in the same boat. It doesn't matter if you think you're a successful businessman or an entrepreneur. What are you dealing with? What are you using? You're using fake notes. And it was such a wake-up call, you know, after my meditation for the past week and talking to Christy, who's been, you know, really into the whole EFT movement. Now she's getting into more stuff, you know, a lot of interesting remedies with peacefulremedy.org. I think that's what they're called. But they're awesome people, and they're doing a lot of good things. And she did tell me, she said, you need to start putting your money away in the dinars, because the USD is going to crash. That money's going to crash in the banks, and we all know that this is going to happen. So, you know, if you start putting money in dinars, it's going to go up. I mean, the USD, when it goes down, boom, it's going to go up. Automatically, you become rich overnight. But something else is coming in the way, and this is Bitcoins. This is something even more exciting for everybody, because, again, it has value. I mean, you could put value on a stone. You could put value on a glass of water. You know, as long as you're constantly, you have to use it all the time, and it's right there for you to use. And, you know, and here we are thinking, oh, our bank, you know, all of our money in our bank, it's all backed up by insurance, FDIC. And then it's funny because Christy's telling me, well, just the fact that it's backed up by FDIC, if you really read the fine print, they're allowed to take your money from you. They're allowed to raid it, which we're finding out with child support and all this other court issue. They feel that they can garnish your wages and all that. See, this is all rules for control. But the Bitcoin, the cool thing about that, there's no control by these third parties or central bank and all these people and the government. They have no control over it. So therefore, you know, there's no major fee to transfer the money from one person to the next, to a family member, to a loved one, whatever you need to do, even business. You don't need a bank. You become the bank yourself. And I feel that this is a stepping stone. I don't feel that this is going to be the whole picture, but it is a huge picture, because what's going on? What are we relying on? We're relying on money, or so-called money, with no value. And, you know, just like many years ago, when we all used to have gold and silver at one time, we had value. We knew that when we had the gold and silver in a bank or somewhere in a safe, we knew that it was going to accumulate in value with every year that goes by. With a dollar, it doesn't go by. I mean, every year that goes by, I mean, you're constantly in debt, man. You're always going to be in debt. So therefore, okay, you have $100,000. Good for you. But you know what? That just goes to show that you're $100,000 in debt, because you just accumulate. You have $100,000 IOU notes. That's all it is. It's nothing. So going back to the Bitcoin thing, I'm very excited about it, and I opened up my own account, so I'm happy. And I'm going to be doing all my services that I do, from psychic readings, Oramus, whatever, is going to be through Bitcoins only. And, you know, I've had some people ask me, well, you know, do you take PayPal anymore? I don't want to take it anymore. Why? Because I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the government. I'm sick of the fact that they're stealing from us and wanting to make money off of every little thing that we do when they don't deserve a freaking penny. And I just basically, you know, put it out there. I finally said, you know what, enough's enough. I'm done. I'm totally done with this. And
can I just ask a question? I was just wondering, I mean, you've explained a lot about Bitcoin, but I'm still a little bit puzzled. Is it just me? who has actually created this Bitcoin? Where does it actually come from? I mean, is it part of the free man on the land thing? What is it?
Supposedly, it was actually created by a guy in Japan named Satoshi, or a group. And they're basically, people that are really, they're geniuses when it comes to creating, anything to do with software. So what happened was when the 2008 thing hit, where basically the money was gone again, this is what happened. That's when they decided to create it. And what it is digital currency. Okay, digital currency, and they all have specific codes, some type of coding. I can't really explain too much. If you want to learn more about it, I mean, I can definitely put a link in. But basically, it's very, from what I'm hearing from other people, and a lot of these finance people, they're saying that it's definitely like the wave of the future. That this is the new thing, just like email and ebooks are the new thing, and the internet. So with this, basically, like, it takes some time to decode. They have these little decoders. Everyone's got a decoder. And in order to do a specific transaction or whatever, it goes through all these little codes. I mean, I wish I can explain better. I'm kind of not a geek in those terms to actually explain. But that is basically what is being used right now. And in Greece, when they were going down, when they were getting, their money taken or stolen from them, some people were actually able to manage to save their money by transferring it into Bitcoin. And again, it's a digital virtual currency. So I can actually read about it. Let me go ahead and find it real quick. And that way I can just read to everybody what Bitcoin is, to give you guys kind of. I'm going to go run along real quick and just read to you the Wikipedia of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is an electronic currency decentralized, conceived in 2009 by Satoshi Nakamoto. The name also applies to the protocol designed by the name author and network P2P behind it. Unlike most currencies, Bitcoin is not dependent on any central issuer confidence, but uses a working test system to prevent double spending and reach consensus among all nodes. Bitcoin is a relatively new project that is in progress. Since the 1970s, the use of digital signatures based on public key cryptography has provided strong property control. Based on public key cryptography in '98, We Day Money describes a decentralized solution to electronic payment.
Right, we're going live again. Sorry, Druanna, about that. Carry on.
Oh, that's pretty much all I had to say, but so yeah, I'm using the Bitcoin instead, and I'm trying to anyway, but it's I guess it's pretty helpful. But I wanted to ask you something. How did the what do you call it? How did the hollows work for you?
How did the how did the what work for me?
The hollow seat meditation thing?
Oh yeah, I've listened to it a couple of times, but it sounds very similar actually to something I already have. But oh damn it, I'm getting feedback again, so it's definitely streaming live again. It wasn't before. It cut off on me. I have to keep an eye on that clock, it's very deceiving. It just stops and it doesn't tell me or warn me or beep or anything. I have been listening to it a couple of mornings, but my time clock, my internal clock's a bit out of sync. Let me just mute myself, hang on. Right, I don't know if I've done it. Oh, this is confusing. Right,
Is
yeah.
everything
Well,
working
that
okay?
sounds that sounds really interesting about the Bitcoin. I don't know why I'm getting feedback because I thought I'd sorted that out, but yeah, that sounds extremely interesting. It's the first time I heard about Bitcoin was earlier today when you posted that video about Cyprus, and that guy was talking about it, and I must be way out of date or something. I don't know because I don't have a television and not watched television for 10 years. It's the first time I've heard that mentioned actually, and so I'm completely new to what this is, and I don't know if I'm the only one in that boat, but I'm sure other people are like me who don't watch television. So I don't know if is it been something mentioned on the television, or is it just something that's been introduced on the alternative news media?
Yeah, I don't watch television either. I haven't had television in over a couple of years, so we don't watch it. It's just a post that I saw. I don't know where I saw it. I think it was on YouTube. I was looking at Bitcoin and something popped up with that, and I thought, whoa, I got to check it out. I think it was a Bitcoin magazine. But yeah, they were talking. The Cyprus, was talking about just what happened, how they got all their money stolen, and how a couple wanted to move back to the UK and buy a house there and all their money's gone. I mean, can you imagine? If it's happening there, it's going to happen here. It's going to happen all over the place. So that's why I say jump on it. Jump on something that's going to be more fluid, more flexible, and has a lot more value because it's going to be in a lot of use. That's what I say when I say more in value, you're going to be using it a lot. That's what makes it valuable, and it's us that gives it value.
So basically, how do you get started with a Bitcoin? Do you actually transfer your existing money into it, and it sort of transfer? Can you use Bitcoin in a high street, for example? Or I mean, here in the UK, is it possible to use it here? Do you think?
They're using it like crazy over there.
Sorry.
They're using it like crazy over there. Yeah.
Really, I didn't know. I will have to go and research that. I'll definitely have to find out about that because I don't know where else we're going to end up if we don't find some alternative because these banks are they're really ripping everybody off now. Is it safe for me to read that private message while I'm sharing my screen? Is it a link?
Yeah, that's a link. Go ahead and share it. I mean, it's blockchain.info/wallet. That is where you would open up your Bitcoin account. And then you can automatically, once you get connected, you can transfer your money into the Bitcoin account. And the cool thing is, I'm waiting for my little link to pop up. It's a referral because I joined a RevShare Bitcoin tier pool. And basically every month we get paid every month Bitcoin. So even if you get a little tiny percentage, like 7% and 7% and up a month, even if you get like a little percentage of it, it doesn't matter because the fact that Bitcoin goes up, it's like saying you get a little percentage of gold. It's that amazing. So it's constantly moving up in value.
Oh wow! Well, I'm going to have to check that out then, definitely. Well, there was some other things I wanted to talk about. Have you heard about this huge ball of this plasma ball appeared over this volcano in Japan? I've got the name now. Is it Fiji? Mount Fiji? Have you heard about that?
No, I need to hear about it. Tell me. I need to, and let me know when you want to get a coffee break because I want to make some coffee. Herb coffee is what it is. But yeah, that's exciting.
Well, I tell you what. Okay, that sounds like a great idea actually, because there are some bugs, some problems I'm having at this end with the stream. So let's have a coffee break. Let me just post something appropriate on so people know we're having a break. Let's go and have a coffee break, and I'll stop this recording now. I'll stop it and restart it. It's only 7 minutes at the moment, but it's probably going to stop again. I don't know why it stopped at 14 minutes though. That's the thing. Yeah, I'll just stop it. That way I won't have to worry about editing the video later. And then I'll restart it again and live stream and see what's going on. So you go and get a coffee, Druanna, and I'll do the same, and we'll come back in, say, 5-10 minutes or something, if that's all right.
Awesome. I'm on my way.
Started the stream, so we have a clean start on this clip because there was a lot of dead air, 15 minutes of dead air. And I made some pancake mix earlier on tonight, and what I'd done is I'd had a pancake about 12-15 hours ago. And I put some pancake mix in earlier, and I thought, well, I don't feel like it right now, so I turned the pan off. I thought it's only half cooked, so I went and finished it off now.
I hear ya.
I'm going to get that link for the thing that was seen over Fiji. Is it Fiji Mountain or something? I'll try and get the article up, just a sec.
So it's about Fiji and this little blob that surrounded Fiji mountain, or Fuji, right, in Japan. Sounds really interesting.
Right. Yeah, I'll put the link in the chat, and I'll try and show it on the screen.
Yeah, I can't seem to find it. I guess find it on the stream then.
I'm having trouble getting access to my chat window. This is annoying. Yeah, I'm having trouble getting access to my chat window. Just a sec. Right, hang on. There it is. It's in the casual chat window. I'm just going to try and switch. I'll just swap over to video browser so I can show it on the screen as well.
Yeah, I definitely see it with a blob. Really, but it's kind of far away.
Apparently, somebody was making the joke that it was the sun setting. Well, I assume that the sun doesn't set in that particular direction. Otherwise, otherwise it would have been obvious or something. But yeah, they're talking about this plasma ball. Mount Fuji. They're suspecting HARP. There's all sorts of weird stuff going on right now. If you read the full article, apparently it's the cabals are attacking each other with HARP or something. And do you want me to get the TTS to read this out to you?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and read it out. That's fine.
Well, it sounds like a good idea since it's hard to read over the camera. Well, it's all interesting stuff.
Oh yeah.
Right, here goes. Hang on, I better put my lock. I'll just lock my key down a minute.
Plasma ball spotted over MT. Fuji, HARP attack suspected. By Benjamin. April 2, 2013. A powerful plasma ball was spotted over MT. Fuji in photographs by this writer. The photographs clearly show the plasma burning over the massive volcano. The photograph above and the one below were taken from Shinjuku, near the Tokyo government office buildings. The photographs have raised suspicions of a HARP attack by the cabal aimed at setting off an eruption of MT. Fuji. To prevent this attack on MT. Fuji from escalating, retaliation has begun with the stimulation of volcanic and earthquake activity around the Atlantic Canary Islands using highly classified technical means. Scientists have noted that if the La Palma rock formation in the Canary Islands falls into the ocean, it would trigger a 100-meter tsunami that would hit the east coast of the United States, large parts of southern Europe, West Africa and South America. To avoid escalation, the White Dragon Society strongly urges the cabal to cease all wars and peacefully surrender its criminal control of the Western financial system. The precise nature of the plasma ball spotted above MT. Fuji has been determined by Japanese experts to be the sun. More specifically, the pictures above are of the sun setting over MT. Fuji and were taken by this writer last fall and saved for the April 1st edition of this newsletter. However, all jokes aside, the cabal really did threaten multiple times to trigger an eruption of MT. Fuji using nuclear bombs that have been buried in 4 locations around the base of the mountain. The threats were withdrawn after counter-threats were made to hit the La Palma rock formation with nuclear missiles. This is the kind of criminally insane activity the current leaders of the West engage in. The actual ongoing volcanic activity at the Canary Islands, however, appears to be entirely natural in origin, i.e. an act of God. There is also a lot of seismic activity taking place in the financial world. The shutting down of the banks in Cyprus has apparently dealt a nasty blow to many groups of gangsters including Sicilian, Calabrese, Camorra, Turkish and Russian mafia groups, according to an Italian P2 Freemason Lodge source. The more well-connected gangsters were able to move their money out to Malta, Morocco and Tunisia, the source continued. Higher-level players were able to take their funds out of Cyprus and into Switzerland, Liechtenstein and Luxembourg, according to one Mi5 source. Honest businessmen in Cyprus, for their part, got thoroughly shafted. The Cyprus money grab has triggered, as mentioned last week, an escalating shift of funds out of Italy, Spain and other EU countries. Political chaos and unrest is also continuing in many European countries, notably Italy, which remains without a proper government. Both Mi5 and P2 sources believe the situation in Cyprus was a proxy war between the Germans and the Russians, but it is not clear at this point who got the better of the battle. However, the announcement by the 180-nation BRICS alliance last week that they were going to start a new development bank to replace the IMF and the World Bank is expected to signal an intensifying financial boycott of the Sabatian mafia-controlled NATO terrorist states. The Russian move out of Cyprus before the banks were shut down is definitely connected to these moves. These same 180 nations have also publicly called for a fundamental reform of cabal-controlled global institutions like the UN and the BIS. There is also a lot of high-level intrigue continuing in the UK. The announcement that Jonathan Evans, the head of Mi5, was resigning and being replaced by Andrew Parker, was highly irregular, according to one Mi5 source. Usually such a change is announced months in advance and a successor is announced weeks in advance, the source says. The sudden announcement may be connected to the fact that Evans was clueless about the planned nuclear terrorist attack on the London Olympics, the source speculated. The other big development in the UK last week was that Prince Edward, the Duke of Kent and head of the Freemasons, had a stroke. This is unlikely to be a coincidence given the highly intense struggles that are taking place throughout intelligence circles these days. Speaking about intrigues, a very obvious and concerted campaign to feed alternative news media, including this writer, with misinformation is continuing. Once trusted sources have informed me of things like Henry Kissinger had a stroke, Hillary Clinton had been arrested, etc. We could not verify this information, and sure enough, shortly after the information was sent our way, Kissinger and Clinton both appeared at public events. The report we made last week about senior Japanese pseudo-right-wing politician Shintaro Ishihara being brutally murdered came from a trusted source at Japanese military intelligence. Ishihara, however, appeared on Japanese TV today after a mysterious 2-week hospitalization. The intelligence source insists the person seen on TV was a body double, but we have been unable to verify this at the time of writing. However, we can confirm from sources extremely close to Prime Minister Shinzo Abe that he has come down with cancer and suspects he was hit with a cancer-causing virus during his recent visit to the U.S. Abe is now taking hemp extract and has been advised by this writer to take 5,000 IUs of vitamin D3 per day and 1 gram of vitamin C every 6 hours to counteract the cancer-causing virus. There are also signs of a financial crisis brewing in South Korea, North Korea and Japan. This crisis has several interlocking dimensions. First of all, the Japanese government is considering passing a bill to tax all assets worth over 50 million yen, about $500,000, owned by South and North Korean nationals living in Japan. Since Korean gangsters seized large amounts of prime real estate near train stations during the chaos after World War II, huge funds are involved. That may explain why several Korean groups are now offering to trade yen for won at a huge discount to the official exchange rate, according to a South Korean CIA source. That also explains a lot of the North Korean saber-rattling in recent days, since the North Koreans secretly control huge swaths of the Japanese economy and are understandably reluctant to have those assets seized by Japanese taxmen. In addition, there is a huge credit card debt crisis brewing in South Korea, according to a veteran Japanese securities company executive. South Korean women are being sold into prostitution around the world to pay for their credit card debt, he says, but this option is not available for other Koreans. He expects a major credit card debt crisis to hit Goldman Sachs in particular, very hard. The other crisis in South Korea has to do with bank loans, he says. Bank officers in South Korea with the authority to approve loans have been taking personal commissions of 10% or more on the loans they approve. This corruption is also leading to a bad loan scandal, he says. The executive further made an interesting comment saying that the people above me were Hillary Clinton and Henry Kissinger, but they have lost power and we are not sure who is in charge now. On a final April 1st news note, Pope Francis has ordered a comprehensive review of the source material of Roman Catholic doctrine and has already made a startling discovery. It turns out that in the year 401 a monk made a mistake in copying documents from the original Council of Nicaea. He left out the R and the world celebrate. Source: one of the significant sources of funds for the cabal is the healthcare industry, which registered a whopping $2.7 trillion in 2011 and is projected to soar to $3.6 trillion in 2016 in the U.S. alone. We believe that this is just a conservative figure. You can join the fight against the dark cabal and accelerate its demise just by boycotting Big Pharma. You can effectively do this by downloading Towards Healthcare Emancipation, a fully illustrated do-it-yourself instructional book that will help you in implementing all clinic methods that would negate the use of expensive medicine, avoid radioactive diagnostics and treatments, and completely defeating cancer, AIDS and all other parasitic diseases. These methods, when faithfully followed, work 100% all the time. Find out more about this here.
Right, well, I think that's enough of that. You know, I did think earlier myself that Benjamin Fulford was trying to give out accurate information, but a lot of people were saying that he was misleading and that it was full of bullshit. But I don't think it's him to blame. I think it's his sources. He's obviously been spoon-fed, and he's been used as a tool for the dark agenda. I don't know what you think about that, Druanna, but I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of people out there who have been too trusting on their sources and have been led along like by the nose sort of thing, you know.
Yeah, I heard him saying, you know, I had a weird feeling about it because of the fact that he's so out there, and some of his videos kind of seemed a little bit comical, like kind of a joke. I mean, he has a lot of interesting information, but at the same time, you know, to me, if you're going to do something about it, do it already. Don't talk about it, you know. So it just kind of seemed that way when he would just complain and freak out on YouTube and act like that. I'm thinking, you know, you're dealing with a bunch of, I mean, what are you, it just, something just didn't seem right. It was really, to me, it was really strange. It's like, you know, you're trying to share this information with people that are not awake or not really there, don't even have the contacts, or they're totally ruled by their jobs, and you're telling them to help you out and telling them to wake up. I mean, it's kind of a hard thing to do. I think it's a little further than that. And when David Wilcock got involved, that's when I was really like, I don't know about this, you know. But not to say that some of the information can be authentic. I'm sure there's a lot of things going on. But I don't really know. I really can't say. I never met the guy myself. I'm not sure, even though a lot of the information does seem pretty interesting. Who knows? But I just kind of stopped following because I felt like I had to stop giving that too much attention. And, you know, I didn't know what was going on. So right now, you know, all I can say is really, you know, when we start looking at him like a hero, he's not a hero. He's just basically a partial of, you know, he's just sending out information. It's up to us if we want to believe, or, you know, he's creating his reality. Therefore, we are powerful enough to create our own. And that's why I say turning inwards and going within is really the most power that we have. Because really, it's all part of the holographic universe. If you really want to get into it.
I was thinking that, I've always wanted to believe in the Occupy Wall Street movement and the general Occupy movement, but there's always been something wrong. I've always had this deep feeling, this sense that this is all too good to be true, I've always had this feeling, and and I even got quite close, well, not really close, but quite close, as in some private chats with Dan Fight, as in Hong Kong. He was on the main media team, and he's a very intelligent guy, right? And I really sort of put a lot of trust in what he was telling me, but at the same time, there's something going on behind the scenes that gives me the instinctive feeling that this is not a grassroots movement like we're meant to believe. There are some people in higher authorities pulling strings and actually controlling this Occupy movement to actually. I mean, if you're a bad guy, right, and the last thing you want is for a group to set up a resistance against you from the outside that you've got no control over. One of the easiest ways to do it is to create a fake resistance, and you manage it and then give everyone the illusion that there is a resistance there when there is not. And this is, to me, it seems to be what's going on. The whole point of the Occupy movement is, I agree with it that we don't want any violence, but to me the only way they're going to get rid of these corrupt people in power is to pull them out, is to go in there physically, remove them and put them in chains and basically trial them, properly, and use the same laws against them that they're using against the people. And doesn't seem to be happening. And it's almost like the whole thing's been orchestrated in a controlled demolition, if you like. The whole thing's been designed to operate in a constrained manner, whereas the bad guys, in the meantime, the people in power, the ones with the money, are dismantling our liberties and our freedoms, and it's going to get to a point where there's nothing else left we can do. It's almost like I say, controlled explosion. Now, I came across this lady on Facebook. Now, let me just go and get this video. You'll find it very interesting. It's worth a watch, and she's also of the same opinion that most of the stuff that we're seeing on the internet now is fake. It's just fake. It's not real. Let me just go and pull this up. If you want, I could probably play it in the window or something. If you want me to do that, I could play it over here and you could listen for the live streamers and that.
Okay, sure, problem.
Right, just give us a second.
I watched every documentary. My husband and I every book we could find, every article, every website. Once we realized that everything was fake, everything was up for grabs. Who knows what's real and what's not. And so we spent a year, we're just voraciously consuming all of this information. And I've got 2 small children at home and that I homeschool, and I thought, oh my God, these babies are going to grow up in this world. And it's drastically changed from when I was a child. And I realized I couldn't just sit back and not do anything. So I said to my husband, well, I want to start a website, and I want to start writing articles and showing people the research that I'm finding. Because every time you look at something in the mainstream, it's completely spun. So you have to break it apart and dissect it and analyze it and figure out what exactly is going on, and not just what they're not telling you, but what they are telling you. Sometimes they'll just flat out tell you what's going on, but you have to understand the context of everything and go back in history and relearn everything. It's like going back to preschool and relearning your ABCs.
Yeah.
So I started writing articles. I think because I'm a woman, it gave me a lot more exposure, because there aren't a lot of women in this movement, and I don't pull any punches, and I don't not cover something because I feel like everything is important. Once you realize, like I said, that it's all fake, everything is up for grabs, and so we have to relearn everything that we were taught because it's all a lie. So I immediately got picked up by a lot of the major alternative news sites, and my articles were reposted, and most of my articles go viral all over the internet, and I've made some wonderful relationships, business relationships and contacts in the industry, and learned some things about the industry that I don't particularly like. So I've disassociated myself with some of the people in the movement. I realize there's a lot of infotainment in the industry, and I didn't appreciate that at all. It's one thing to disseminate information. It's another thing to terrify and scare people, because the one thing that we need is information that inspires people to action, and that's something that is lacking. So I've come kind of full circle, and I have my own radio show on American Freedom Radio, the Region 10 Report, which is broadcast 1 to 3 Pacific time on Thursdays. And I found a really good home over there at American Freedom Radio, and then I just I publish articles 6 days a week. I take Sundays off because I need to.
You have to have a day off. That's right. Oh yeah, no. Otherwise, you'd go cuckoo, I think, and especially in these subjects where it's a lot of heavy material to trudge through and really get through things, and I mean, I'm bad at writing overall, but I can even imagine, so I can even imagine doing that part of it. But nonetheless, it's important we do take some, time off and perspective. And I feel that that's maybe one thing that's actually lacking for a lot of people. It's to gain that kind of perspective on certain things, if you will. If you're so involved in something, and I'm not saying that that's negative. We all need that period of really, as you did as well, and I went through the same thing, Susanne, of really just like, you're going through absolutely everything. You're soaking up everything, and you're like a dry sponge, and you need that period. But then after a while, you need a little bit of a pause. You need a little bit of a something that gives you perspective, so you can put things into context. And I feel some people are they're going, and it becomes almost like an obsession in a way.
Right, and you can become paranoid. A lot of my readers and listeners tell me, "Oh my God, when is it going to happen? They're going to bust down my door at any moment." That's why I call it the infotainment. It's a show. A lot of radio hosts and a lot of websites sensationalize for the sake of getting clicks to their website, or selling the goods that they have on their website,
sure,
or
yeah,
becoming famous or popular. And that is the antithesis of this whole movement. We don't want people to be, looking out their window afraid that the cops or whoever is going to bust in their door. We want people to be inspired to change this world, because if we don't, it's just going to keep going and going and going until you're a slave, and then there's nothing more to take, like what Bill Cooper said.
Right, I just paused it there, Druanna. As I say, it's an hour long. I'll put the link in chat, and I'll just if people can go and check the video out themselves. But she's very much saying the same thing that I was talking about earlier, about the fact that a lot of what we're seeing is just fake. It's not real. It's an illusion, a false sense of security, or false fear, or whatever. I don't know, but it's one or the other. We just have to realise that we are being manipulated.
Can you hear me, by the way?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay, because I'm talking through my head right now, so hopefully you can hear me much better. And Mary was having an issue hearing me. But, yeah, I'm telling you, that's exactly the thing that I was going through, Chelley. I wasn't sure what to believe. There's so many things going out there to basically derail us, or not derail, what's that word? Distract us, that's the word. Distract us from what is really going on. And that is why I ended up deciding, and the feeling I'm getting by checking these groups out, or these gurus talking and whatever,
the first thing that I go with is my feeling. How do I feel every time I listen to these people? Do I feel like I'm in control, or does it feel like I have to keep tuning into them in order to feel good, to feel that I'm on top of everything? And that is when we lose ourselves. We lose who we are. We lose control of our soul and our inner being. So that is why I decided to turn to meditation, you know, because you think about it, look at a lot of the Buddhist monks, the people in Tibet, they meditated for when they meditate, they go on like a 10-day thing or even way longer in meditation, because they know that the outside world, the external environment, is all an illusion, and they've known this. And they know that in order to change the world outside, we have to go inside us. So I got to the point when I thought, you know what, I'm so sick and tired of hearing that, that our ancestors are coming, or the star people are coming, we're on our way, and all this stuff, and us having to rely on this information, when really I believe the information's within us, and we just have to take the time to really tune in and do the, awakening. And that's kind of what has been pulling me with the Kundalini. I mean, I haven't really been doing it yet, but I'm going to try to, get into it. But the Kundalini thing is very powerful stuff. And, places like India and the Philippines and Thailand, I mean, they're already operating, they're utilizing their minds like more of a percentage. And their DNA strands they have more DNA strands than most of us, because they're actually tapping into their consciousness. So with us who are vibrating at a very much lower conscious level, that's what we tend to do, because we've been raised and programmed to believe in that. That's all we have to look outside of ourselves to find the information that this is going to happen. This is going to be the answer. In all reality, it's not. So I totally agree with you on that one, Chelley, big time. A lot of it is major manipulation, like Alex Jones, all that stuff. I mean, all this information that you're thinking that is totally right on 100%. I mean, it might be, but at the same time, how do you feel after you listen to that?
Well, yeah, exactly. And as I said, I want to believe in the Occupy movement, but you can't trust anything, and the only real trusting place that I find I can go, like you say, is my spiritual meditation and going within. And when I look within myself, I just know that all this stuff is a flash in the pan, and it's not going to last for very long. This Mayan calendar as well, about saying that everything would accelerate, and it is accelerating. It's been spot on. Everything is speeding up. People being, like that Benjamin Fulford, when he was mentioning earlier about that guy, I forgot his name now, who's stepped down in this seat in MI5 in the UK, and a new replacement's gone in almost straight away. That sort of thing is happening much more quickly. I think the reason for that is because people just can't handle it. People are not able, they're just losing control, and people are having to step down, just like the Pope had to step down. And I don't believe it's just to do with the accusations of him being paedophile. I think there's more to it than meets the eye. I mean, obviously people are not able to function anymore like they used to do, and so people are being replaced like really fast and quickly, because the elites are desperately trying to take control of a situation that's out of control. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing chaos happen. It's raining all over the planet, and I'm pretty sure that pretty soon this is all going to come to a climax, and something's going to happen. We are going to be on a new path very soon, and I don't think this misery is going to last very long. But I just pray and hope that a lot of people aren't going to lose their lives in the meantime, because we are seeing that lots of people are dying. People have been in this country, in the UK, lots. I think it's 160 people. Was it 1,600 people? Sorry, have died in the UK. Disabled people in the last 2 years since their benefits were stopped. The disability, and it's just terrible. I mean, this is shocking. What's going on? People are literally starving, and some people are committing suicide because they can't survive. They can't feed themselves. They can't pay their bills, and it's just chaos is coming down on everybody's heads, you know. I don't even know where I'm going to be in 6 months myself.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we're noticing some things as well. You know, we live right next to the states. We're in Mexico and Baja California, and near Ensenada. So we're about like an hour away south from the border, and we go visit my husband's family every now and then, and we're noticing just a lot of things going on with a lot of the people there, like moving in from a big house, moving into a tiny little house, you know, moving in, a bunch of families moving in together, totally different families, just trying to survive and trying to hang on, trying to rent a room for like $500 or $700 a month. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous, the prices. And these people are just working and working just to survive, just to live, and that is it. And, you know, a lot of their benefits are being cut. Even people that are working for the government, their benefits are being cut, or the retirement. They're not able to, you know, they said that they're going to be retired like in 2 years, and then they're saying, oh, 5 more years, and then all of a sudden, oh, you know, they drop you. So there's a lot of things going on with that, and I'm noticing major changes, and then that's why when we come back here to Mexico, we feel really good. We're breathing. We're like, ah, this feels so nice. We see like open roads and, you know, ocean and not so many people. And then you go to San Diego, I mean, it's just tons of people in cars and everybody's rushing. And not only that, we go to like a, you know, natural food store, and you should see the people just totally diving for their foods. It is just absolutely comical. Like you go to Henry's, you know, they call it Henry's or Sprouts, and people are just totally rushing, rush, rush, rush. They're running, trying to get everything, and it's like, good God, you act like the end of the world's coming. And then you go to Mexico, and everyone's taking their time. It's just a whole nother life. So I'm seeing a whole big difference going over there and then coming back. It's like I don't even want to be there much longer. We're there real quick, and then we just cannot wait to come back here. And there's just so much going on, but I feel, and what Johnny is just saying right now, excuse me, oh, yawning, getting tired, but he was saying something about, and it's so true, that we're moving into higher levels, we're ascending, and that could be a form of ascension, because we're starting to become very sensitive to the BS, okay? We're becoming very sensitive to it. We're becoming very sensitive to ailments and symptoms, you know, that our body can't really handle. And so whenever we start to hear things that are just not in alignment with source energy or within us, we tend to like, you know, I need to just push this away, and I need to go within. And then when you find out that going within feels so much better, you know, like meditation, and then you come out of it and you're like, oh my God, I feel so wonderful. And then you turn on, let's say, you know, all this other information, and you're like, God, this is not making me happy. I'm not feeling excited. And a lot of us, we're not feeling excited in a positive way. We're getting excited in a negative way. So that's when you know, like lately, I mean, just recently, actually, before we got on this little show here, I was just not feeling 100% good. You know, my back was killing me. You know, I just got over this eye problem that I'm going through a major detox, trying to detox myself, because I'm still suffering this recurrent corneal erosion thing. But I woke up today feeling better. And then talking to my husband, and we're like, what are we going to do? I mean, you know, we had a lot more freedom in Cancun. You know, kids were going to really nice schools, and it was a lot cheaper. They were private schools. We come over here, and the schools aren't that 100% good. The beaches aren't that nice. And, you know, we're just talking about all these things, like how we're living closer to the States because of money, because of, you know, the government. And we have to live here, and we feel that we have to live here. And it depresses me, because it's like, man, you know, my mom and my brother, they live in Cancun, and they stay there. And my mom's, she's retired. And so it's like, God, you know, part of me is just ready to just pack my stuff up and go back there, because, you know, I've been seeing so many freaking chemtrails, like you wouldn't believe yesterday. I mean, 2 days ago, actually, just crisscross like an X in the sky, and my face was just burning, like major burning in my face. My eyes were tearing. I mean, it was like, you know, I don't think I can handle this anymore, man, you know? And and my husband, he's going to school to make some money, whatever he's got to do, but he's not even interested in what he's doing. He's just like, I'm just doing electric engineering just to get by. But I'm like, that's probably the issue with you. You're not finding what's exciting you, and so we're all have to deal with this. I mean, find something that excites you, because if you're doing something that's just, I guess, just for the money, you know what? Then our whole life's going to be like that, and I'm just not happy with it. So, I feel like I just need a big change, like go back or go somewhere where it's, cleaner air, number one, and cleaner foods. And, GMO's very popular in Mexico now, so that's not a very positive thing. Got to be very careful with that. And, it's just taking one step at a time and trying to figure out what to do. And the only thing that I can do to gain any sanity at all is meditation. Trying to just meditate for a whole hour, every single day, make it my full intention to do so, and getting into Kundalini and doing some yoga, hatha yoga stretches, trying to get into that as much as possible, into feeling good. And that's what I mean. When you get into that vibration of feeling good, you come out of meditation, you feel good. You come out of yoga poses, you feel good, or exercise, you feel good. The whole intention is trying to keep that energy level up so you're feeling good no matter what crap is going on around you. Because the more that you do that, the quicker and faster your desires are going to come into your life. Whether you want to escape the place or go somewhere else or whatever. You have to make that in your intention, but you got to keep that vibration up, or else it's going to be like a zigzag. And when you go into the negative vibration, you put it out there, and there's repercussions because of that.
Yeah, definitely. I was just going to say I'll send you some distance healing, if that will help. I have been sending you a bit of energy that way, but is, you said Johnny, is that Johnny 1111, our friend, or is it another Johnny?
Yeah, it's the Johnny in Florida, or Florida Johnny. He was in the Ashtar Command. Johnny and his cat, Jeff.
Oh, I don't think I know. I don't think I know that Johnny. Sorry, I thought it was Johnny 1111, the one on my Facebook. Oh, well, I don't know him. But yeah, I find I haven't been doing a lot of meditation myself lately.
And Johnny and Murda.
Sorry?
Johnny and Murda.
Ah, okay. Because the other Johnny I know is in Canada, so it's not the same one. Well, anyway, it's been really good today, and I was recording this in TeamSpeak earlier, but I'm not recording now since we had that coffee break. But I think it's because I figured out that when we're doing this live stream, that when you stop it, that's when you get the chance to save the file, and it's coming up to 19 minutes, and I don't know if it's going to stop again. But has Johnny noticed any interruptions in our discussion? I was just wondering, your friend Johnny there, has he noticed any interruptions? Maybe it just stops, the clock stops when it's for saving the saving the file. Maybe it limits the file size I can save, but maybe the live stream's still going out. So has he noticed any interruptions? Because I can't see him, and I haven't got the chat up here.
He says a little bit.
Ah, right. That must be during the times when I've stopped it and restarted it, maybe manually to save the file. But I hope it hasn't spoilt it too much, because it's kind of... we'll have to go and review the videos later, I suppose, and play them back and check them out and see... Because I did record a lot of the stuff earlier that we were doing in a WAV file, but I don't want to be messing with that if I can help it. It's been really interesting though, Druanna. We'll have to do this again, and maybe you can do it from your side next time, because then you could be on your webcam. I'm not very tidy at the moment, and I don't fancy being on webcam.
That's fine. Yeah, we could definitely figure something out for sure. It's always good to have these talks and get people involved. It's very important, I think, because also, it kind of gets rid of the feeling of being lonely and being alone and being the only one talking about this, especially if you can't talk to somebody, one of your loved ones or someone that you're in, family members or friends or whatever. A lot of us have to come together and hang together because it just seems like we're kind of the only ones out there. But there is many, many thousands and millions of people out there that are in the same boat, and especially those that don't believe. They're finding out really quick that the government is not all that anymore, that there's something else big at play here. So
yeah.
So I totally feel that.
Well, I noticed that myself. I speak to people in the local shops around here, and a lot of them they just never woke up. They just never went to the alternative media, and they have the opinion that it's all conspiracy theory and all nonsense, simply because that's what the main media has been feeding them. And it's kind of sad, really, because those people I feel sorry for mostly because they've got no alternatives. What's the word? They've got nothing to fall back on, nothing to give them any reassurance. But we've got our spirituality and our inner truth, if you know what I mean. We've got that keeps us afloat. And whereas all around us in the physical world and the mainstream world, people are seeing the churches collapse. I saw articles in the regarding Christmas trees being banned in an old people's home in America. I thought, well, I can't believe that. It's crazy. And they're even banning crucifixes in churches and schools in America. So it makes you think that these people who are orthodox, I think the word is, Orthodox Christians or whatever, they're basically seeing their lives crumbling away around them, and they've got nothing to fall back on, nothing to give them reassurance, and it must be extremely stressful for them. But you see, I've kind of turned my back on religion a long time ago, since I realised it was another form of in the box kind of control mechanism. What really counts is spirituality, because spirituality, most people get mixed up. They think that spirituality is a religion, but it's not. Spirituality is nothing to do with religion. Religion is a means of controlling spirituality, yes, but when you're spiritual, you meditate and you do things, and in churches they don't agree with that. I've had funny looks from priests before that walk past me in the street. Maybe I'm glowing or something, and they just give me funny looks.
yeah, exactly. I understand. I mean, really, I think all religions basically, it's all about going within yourself. That is pretty much the answer. And unleashing the power within, which is absolutely amazing what we can do. I mean, you think about it. You see chi, the people that know how to move the chi, how they can actually, if you've seen these people like in Thailand or the Philippines, how they're able to move somebody or hit somebody with their chi energy. I mean, all this stuff that we've been totally blinded to or not even taught. And can you imagine, like, the things that we can actually do with our body by breathing certain ways and manifesting abundance by breathing through certain chakra points? I mean, it's like this is stuff that we have been, kept. All this information has been kept from us. And that's what I'm saying. It's time to go back to that, maybe get back into meeting people like that are actually using it, because that is the way to awakening. And that's all I could say. It's like, you know what? There's too much craziness going on around me right now. Obviously, there's something not right in my head right now. I need to center myself and really get with it. There's a movie out, I forgot what it was called, but it was pretty right on. I thought it was really weird, but it dealt with like quantum physics, and it's like Honey something. I don't know if Johnny knows, but basically it's like this guy, he's fighting with this someone, a boss or whatever, but he's fighting against himself the whole time. And that's the scary thing about it. Like, all these people, external, the government, all that is all a part of us that we've been creating somehow, some way. And it's funny that when you go into meditation, when you go into a really deep form of meditation,
and you're trying to get something to work. You're trying to get something, you're nudging everything. You're trying to get it to work. And then you go through this meditative state, and then you get out of it, and then all of a sudden here comes the answers. Boom. The thing that you're trying to put together is coming together beautifully. And you have no idea how. It's like, how the hell did that happen? So there's got to be something going on, and of course the external world and the macrocosm with the government and the media and all that, they have really played on our energy and our triggers is what I like to call it. They're trigger points. You know, when they flash colors and they flash certain excitement points and music and something out there, you know, in the media, it's triggering something within our energy code, you know, within our chakra points or whatever in our minds. It is triggering something. So like when we see a stop sign or stoplight that's red, it's automatically triggers like, oh, we got to stop. So when they do these things on TV, on the radio, you know, you hear music, whatever, it really messes with your mind. And that's why you have to go inside you to find out what is really happening. You see, it's a lot of stuff going on. So that's why, I mean, you know, I do a lot of videos, but it's pretty much like, again, it's more of a spiritual nature now. I'm pretty much stepped away from a lot of doing the whole fighting against the debt thing and doing the whole, you know, I'm a sovereign and all this stuff, because again, you're fighting against, and the more that you fight against, you're just attracting more of that. And right now, I'm more interested in finding a solution. That's all I'm interested in. I'm tired of having to, you know, excuse me, beg the banks to approve my discharge or approve of, you know, you're dealing with you're dealing with people who don't have their paperwork. So I'm putting my energy and my talents into creating a solution for the planet. And that's why, how funny, we're talking about currency a few days ago, you know, with dinars, and here we're talking about bitcoins now. So it's like, let's get to the point already. Let's get to the point. What has run us, all humanity? It has always been money. Now that money is now going to be in our hands now, watch the world change.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you on that. And it's kind of funny, actually, because while you were talking, you made me remember something that it never occurred to me when I was younger, but I used to dream in black and white. And I read an article recently about this, and it never hit me straight away. And the question was, do you dream in colour, or do you dream in black and white? And I thought, hang on a minute, when I was younger I used to dream in black and white. And they said, basically they explained it, they said that's because the people that sit in front of the television, back in the 60s and 70s, most of us, well, all we had was a black and white television. And literally, because of a black and white television, we were dreaming in black and white, because it was dominating our lives. It was fundamentally a huge influence on our brain waves and on our subconscious mind, on everything that we think and believe, so much so that we're even dreaming in black and white. And when I realised that, I thought, oh my God, there's no wonder we're so messed up. We have literally been programmed by a television. You know, we have been programmed, and we're not even aware that we've been programmed. And anyway, because recently, obviously, I noticed I'm much more aware that my dreams are in colour. And I thought, that's strange, I used to dream in black and white. Why am I dreaming in colour now and not before? And it all makes perfect sense, you know, that we are biological spiritual beings, but we're also biological computers as well, because the human brain is a highly advanced computer, if you think about it. That is the mechanical part of us, is the brain, but our spiritual essence is much more than any of that. It's that is what we've been distracted from. It's been taken from us, is our spiritual sense, our spiritual truth, our who we really are, our souls, whatever you want to call it, our higher consciousness. that is what we need to be getting in touch with now, because we can't rely on our physical brains anymore, because they're being messed with so much with media and corporate programming. All it does is interfere with what we really should be. So yeah, what you're saying, all this money stuff as well, that's programming. It's made us believe that money is all that's important when it's not. Sorry, go ahead, Druanna.
Oh, it's okay. I was just moving my leg. But yeah, I agree. That is so freaking fascinating, Chelley, what you just said about that. Wow. That is crazy. The fact that you were dreaming in black and white, and it's because you were watching black and white TV back in the day. That does make perfect sense. But yes, you're so right on. I mean, my kids, children are being so programmed by video games. And that's another thing that I'm trying to get my son away from, because when we were living in Cancun, he wasn't really into video games then. We were out there swimming, we were doing things. And then we come here and it's a little colder climate and there's just absolutely nothing really to do here. And we're just like, God, this is just killing us. So it's like a constant issue. But we don't watch TV at all, but yet my son, he loves, playing his God of War and all that other stuff. And my daughter, she's not into any of that. She's always glued to mommy, always on me, constantly hugging on me. She don't want to go anywhere. And it's just really, really funny, but it is very true that we are so being programmed. Our minds are you can't really rely on your mind. You can't rely on anything. And the only way you can rely on anything is to go inside yourself, go within and meditate. And what I've found, again, my preference of meditation is with HoloSync. It actually gets you to a deeper level quicker, and as opposed to any ways that I've done before. But again, I have to try Kundalini because it deals with a lot of the breathing techniques, and it gets you there pretty quick too, real fast. And it helps you to activate your chakras to bring things into your life as well. So there's just so many things going on, and that's why I just feel like this is where I'm at right now, girl. I'm telling you, I just feel like I'm getting to a point in my life right now. I can't necessarily say I want to give up all my possessions and become a Tibetan monk, because if I didn't have my kids, I'd do it. I totally do it in a heartbeat. I'd say, here, take all my stuff, take my computer. I don't care anymore. I want to go start meditating with you guys, and I want to start going inwards, and that is it. And just live my life like that until life gets a little better. Because the only way that life can get better is within us. We have the power to do it, and we are an extension of that power. Whatever the elite has tried to program us with by screwing up our minds and our brains and so forth. Like fighting with other people and utilizing the reptilian brain that's hidden within us. Ego. We have an ego. We have a lot of ego that we need to deal with, that we're trying to, that we use all the time and we don't realize. We want things based on ego. We're not wanting things based on the heart chakra and what's really, what we're feeling really inside. And that's very confusing. That can seriously confuse us. And that's the thing that I'm finding out going back to San Diego. I see a lot of people so confused, and all they want is material possessions, thinking that that's going to quench their thirst. In all reality, it's not. It's not going to quench the thirst, So a lot of those people are the ones that are breaking down, because now they have to figure out, oh my gosh, and it's not until they go hit the sidewalk or the curb, and they get to the curb or to that point in their life when they lost everything, is when they actually start to seek spirituality and ask God or the universe and say, wow, what is my life all about then? And it's very, very deep. And that's what we have to do. Really, my heart and soul is to go travel. I always wanted to go to Egypt and India and all those places and learn more about the truth. I'm a truth seeker. I want to find out where did we come from? Who are we? What are our powers? What's our potential? That is like a big big thing of mine that I want to know more than anything.
Yeah, me too. Well, I've just posted a link. I'd just like to show. I'll just live stream this for you to see. Because of the lag, it probably will take a while for it to show up, but for you to see it. Now, I'm just going to post this link. Just give us a sec. Just give me a second. I'll bring it up and then show you the article. I've just posted a link. It's from the Telegraph, and so I'll see you when you get back, Drew. Alright, here's the article. Black and white TV generation have monochrome dreams. There's the facts that's in the Telegraph, a UK newspaper. Let me just lock my thingy down. Right, okay, let me just resize this a bit. See if I can get this in. Right, black and white TV generation have monochrome dreams. Do you dream in black and white? If so, the chances are you are over 55. Well, that's right. I'm 53. Well, I'm actually under 55, but I still remember dreaming in black and white. And we're brought up watching a monochrome television set. The meaning of dreams, the science of dreams, blah blah blah. New research suggests that the type of television you watched as a child has a profound effect on the colour of your dreams. While almost all under 25s dream in colour, thousands of over 55s all over whom were brought up with a black and white sets often dream in monochrome even now. Well, there you go, the damage is done. You know, there are times when even now I do dream in black and white, but the British in this country, we have to pay TV licence. We have to pay a licence to watch television, right? But I don't watch television. I've not watched it for 10 years. The damage has been done, I think. It says here the findings suggest that the moment when Dorothy passes out of monochrome Kansas and awakes in Technicolor Oz may even have had more significance for our subconscious than we literally ever dreamed of. Oh, that's a bit of a pun there. Alright, so the damage is done. Maybe I should send a huge massive bill to the BBC television licensing company and charge them a penalty for making me dream in black and white. Why the hell should I have to dream in black and white? That's not fair. You know, it's an invasion literally into my personal space. It's changed who I am, and it's made me out to be something less than what I could have been. So yeah, that is so unfair, really, I think. Right, let me just switch this. Oh, damn it! I was on the thingy. You didn't see that. Right. Sorry about that. There's the article. That's the article I was reading just now. I forgot to switch the screen on. Right, that's the article there. It's the Telegraph. I was just reading this down here. Oh dear. This is what you get for live, doing stuff live when you're unprepared. Right. So you can go and check that out. I'm glad I noticed before I close the page down. Right, go back to camera again. Okay, so it seems like I'm still streaming, so I don't know why it stopped before. It's going up to 40 minutes now. But we'll just wait for Druanna coming back. I don't know if I can pause this. I don't think I can. Doesn't appear to be. Let's just stop. Right, I'll close that down. Put the screen back on. So there's a whole bunch of articles on the internet about dreaming in black and white. Loads and loads of things there. All points to TV being the culprit, which is a shame. Let me just put this back where it was. I like my trusty start page. It's so much better than Google because it's more private. I mean, they just sell your surfing habits and everything, just Google. So I mean, when you go through startpage.com, you're actually behind a proxy basically, and they don't keep tracking and information about your personal surfing habits, which is good, because I don't think, I mean, there's enough of our information being stolen off us every day, just being on Facebook, everything you do. So that's startpage.com. I know Alex Jones likes to use it. Right, get rid of that now. John can watch the video later and see that. Oh, interesting feedbacks now. So anyway, that's what we were looking at earlier. That was Suzanne Puzzle. She's on Facebook. You can go and check out her stuff. She's very inspiring. She knows about a lot of the facts that the alternative media has been heavily manipulated, and nothing we see and hear is necessarily something we can believe in. Just trust your inner self. I think it's the best thing to do. And that's one of our websites, Occupy Corporatism. The site's under maintenance at the moment. Get a link for that, and let's see. Let me just bring up a text. Oops. Let me bring up a text document, so you can see the web address. There it is. Maybe I should make that bigger. I don't know about the Druanna should be back in a tick. Right, there's the actual website for. Oh, I lost it again. There we go. Right, there's a website for Suzanne's. That's Suzanne's website. Okay, right. I'm hungry. It's all this talking we've been doing, Druanna. Right. She said in the text actually that she's back, so she's eating some tuna salad. So I won't drag her to the microphone right now, otherwise it'll probably sound a bit muffled. So right, I'll just undo this a minute. Hang on. So Druanna, whenever you're ready, just give us a holler. I'll stop this video and I'll restart it. So there's going to be an interruption in the live stream while I save this video, because it's at 45 minutes now. And rather have lots of dead air, and rather than having to go back and edit it later, I'm just going to stop it now, and I'll restart the stream in a few minutes when Druanna's back. I could hear you munching there, Druanna.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah. You're making me feel. You're making me hungry again. I've just had that pancake. Was that tuna sandwich nice?
Oh, it was good. Tuna salad, and I had this Thai peanut sauce on it. Oh my god, it was the
Best. Wow. But I've been trying to cleanse my whole system out, you know, because I'm going through this cleansing. and I'm just getting rid of a lot of sweets, not eating anything with sugar in it, only raw honey, and incorporating more greens, which is very, very important. So I've noticed that whenever I eat like that, then my eye problem goes away. So I'm gonna totally stick with it. But so far, yeah, very good stuff.
Tuna's actually, isn't it it's a freshwater fish, isn't it?
It's a sea fish.
Is it? Oh, I couldn't remember. I get mixed up. Well, I was listening to an article the other day saying that the sea is quite heavily polluted, and I'm starting to worry a bit because I had some prawns the other day, and from the Chinese. I had one of them. They call them what do you call them? Pancake rolls or something. But Chinese and had prawns in it. Some of them tasted a bit fishy to me. I mean, funny to me. They tasted. I mean, I know they're fishy, but I mean, they tasted like, well, you know what formaldehyde smells like, don't it? Well, my dad used to work in a leather factory years ago, and he came home stinking of this horrible chemical. And I said to him one day, I said, well, what's that horrible smell? He said, that's formaldehyde. It's deadly poison. Well, I know what it smells like. I know what formaldehyde smells like, and believe me, it's not nice. It's disgusting. And I went in a woman's house a few years back, and her house stunk like that, and it's almost like, well, I don't know why her house smelled like it. Maybe it's because she was giving it off. She was sweating it or something. Because if you poison it, and that can cause cancer as well. It really is nasty stuff. If you don't know what formaldehyde smells like, then you need to find out, because well, visit a morgue or something. You'll know what it smells like, because it's really nasty stuff, and it will kill you. It's a preservative. I know they use for dead bodies, but they also use it in leather manufacture to cure the leather, to stop it from decomposing. And it's certain chemicals mixed together can produce formaldehyde, and such as aspartame, when that reaches body temperature, and like Diet Cokes and things like that, that can also turn to formaldehyde in your gut, and it can rot your gut away. Which is why a lot of people are having stomach cancer and bowel cancer. It's not a nice way to go. It's very painful. Yeah, horrible, horrible stuff. Well, anyway, as I was saying, I was eating this prawn, and it tasted just like it, and I thought, oh my god, this tastes like bloody formaldehyde. Spat it out. I didn't swallow it.
Oh, that's disgusting. That's horrible. Oh my gosh. The only thing that I can say that maybe have been close to formaldehyde, in my biology classes, when we were dissecting something, I think I have, and I think that might be the same type of smell. It's the weirdest smell ever. It really is. It's like gross.
I could tell it's like vinegary and weird. I don't know the smell that I had at the biology, lab. I could still remember that smell. It was very, very totally different. But I can understand what you're saying. It's pretty frightening. And yes, the sea is, from what I'm hearing, very polluted in certain areas. I ended up going to Carlsbad, the North County, San Diego, which is very beautiful. It's like right next to Del Mar, and it's just one of my favorite areas. I even grew up there years ago. Loved it. Love it to death. Such a beautiful place. Well, on our way there, went to this Mediterranean restaurant, and I can smell on the sea, the ocean, and I'm like, hun, I have never smelt this before. It smells super fishy. The oceans did not smell good at all, like algae or something. And I'm like, this is really weird. I've never, of the years that I've lived near Carlsbad to go visit the ocean, I have never smelt this before. He's like, well, that's the ocean. I go, yeah, but I mean, even the ocean, we're here, in Mexico, we're not smelling that. I mean, like, there's something really going on there. So, I mean, who knows? Who knows what's going on lately, especially with the weather changes. And then finding out, a lot of dead animals being washed offshore. Last year, I lived right on the beach in Mexico, and we had seals washing off the shore, and it was not pretty. Not a pretty sight at all, just to see that. And then the whole place smells like dead seal. And that's exactly what this place smelled like in Carlsbad. I'm like, God, it smells like dead freaking seal.
Yeah, it smells like death. Yeah. I know exactly what you're saying. Oh, I know you type you got to go to bed soon. Yeah, I agree. We've been going for quite a few hours, and I think we've had a good session tonight. We certainly have. Somebody else was saying that the sea has been polluted, and I have no doubt I know what's going on. They're using oil. They're polluting the sea with oil, and they're using the excuse of spraying core exit on it, which is highly toxic. And I'm pretty sure that this core exit is responsible. Certain chemicals mixed together can produce formaldehyde or other nasties, and will kill life. So I've no doubt that these oil spills are being deliberately done as an excuse to spray chemicals. And because obviously if you go around spraying chemicals for no reason, people are going to say, why are you doing that? Why? What are you doing? What are we trying to do? Kill everything? Obviously it's sneaky, it's a trap. I mean, imagine it's like spilling milk and then saying, oh, I've got to put sawdust down to soak the milk up. It's an excuse to poison the ocean, and they are poisoning the oceans. It's not going to be safe to eat any seafood soon. It's probably not safe now, actually. I have noticed when I go to the fish and chip shop here in the UK, the fish sometimes taste a bit funny. Sometimes I've had a bad stomach after I've eaten the fish and chips, and I've never had that before. So I tell you, I'm pretty soon I'm going to stop eating fish altogether, because it's just getting beyond the point where I feel it's safe to eat. So, Druanna, I know you said you've got to go to bed soon, because it's late. I don't know how long you want to go on for, if you want to quit now, because we've had a really good night, haven't we?
Oh yeah, we had a really good night. I mean, I like to keep going and going. But yeah, I definitely have to get going to sleep, or else I'm going to have a very difficult time sleeping tonight. And that's how it is. Whenever I go past a certain amount, an hour, forget it. It's just really difficult for me to go to sleep. So yeah, I mean, definitely like to keep on chatting with you. Maybe we can do some type of chat, do this maybe weekly, get people on board. And I've tried to, get people into the Second Life. I think that would be a very exciting thing to do. But I know that, a lot of people are having a hard time with it. If we can meet in Second Life and we can have our little chats there as well, we can, dress up like avatars and all that and go into another world, and kind of eases everything as well, when you're kind of going into some other place and you feel a little, I don't know, there's just something about it. What do you think, Chelley?
Yeah, definitely, and yes, that would be great. And I'm showing a picture of Second Life right at this moment on the live stream. Sorry about the clock. I'll get rid of the clock in a minute so you can see some snapshots of it properly, because the clock's blocking a lot out. But Second Life is brilliant. There's some spiritual community there. You can literally go to these places in Second Life and meditate and do all sorts of things, and you can have group sessions. Sit in circles, and you can voice chat with each other in Second Life. You can. It's great for people who are a little bit shy, who want to learn how to meditate, because you can see the animations for the meditation that is pre-programmed actually into Second Life. So there's a lot of animations that are pre-programmed. The meditation postures, such like, and that's all part of it. It's even programmed in there. So if you don't know how to meditate in real life, you can see the animations of how you do it and the postures and all that. And it's great, I love it. It's a great little escape. So I mean, you might be 6,000 miles away from somebody that's one of your buddies who you want to meditate with, but you can be in the same room in Second Life. It's really cool.
Exactly, and go for the magic carpet too. Remember, we flew on the magic carpet. That was so cool.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's awesome. I mean, you can do scenic views. You can fly around, and it's kind of cool. Yeah, it really is. I mean, you can just sort of total escapism, and it's not manipulative. It's not manipulative like television or video games. It's nothing like that. I mean, it's ordinary people have created these worlds. And a lot of it is from their own intuition. I mean, I'm showing a picture at the moment on the screen on live stream. I keep getting mixed up because I used to use Blog TV, and Blog TV is being taken over by Facebook or something because it's called YouNow, and I refuse to migrate Blog TV over across to YouNow because it's been hijacked, I think, by Facebook, because I thought, well, sod it. If Facebook's going to take over everything, I just don't want anything to do with it. And also, I tried to use Ustream earlier tonight, and it's absolutely hopeless. It would not broadcast live. So I'm going to close that account down. They've made some mistakes with that account, with that service. Well, I don't know what they've done, but I'm going to be on Ustream from now on. Sorry, live stream from now on. Sorry. I'm going to delete my Ustream account because it's just doesn't work. It doesn't work for me whatsoever. I tried broadcasting live with the media plugin thing. It didn't work. I don't know what they've done to it. So, yeah.
Oh, live stream's pretty awesome. I mean, I'm liking it already. This is pretty helpful, and people can join in on the chat, and this is awesome. I love the whole video thing, and it's great. I mean, I do blog talk radio, but I mean, I think that this is even more exciting. I think we should just keep doing more of this. And I see your avatar, Chelley. That's so cool. We so need to get back into the SL, man. That's the way to go. It's fun. You have so much excitement, and it can help with your manifestation levels too. It helps with your frequency. Like today earlier, I felt kind of crappy, and then getting on here with you, I feel really better. I feel much better now because I was like, I don't know what the hell to do. I don't know where to go. I mean, I'm just like, what is going to happen? Are we going to stay in this boat forever? Like the same crap? You're going to, like I was having a conversation with my husband about it, and I'm like, what do I do, like, to make use of my time? And just feeling kind of hopeless sometimes, but I guess it's just waiting for, just trying to get things to keep to roll along, get things moving, and it's difficult, especially when you've been in the vortex for a long time and things have been great, and then all of a sudden you're out of the vortex and things seem to be so different, like slow pace, and you're waiting and always in the mode of waiting all the time. So that's why I'm like, I just got to get back to meditating, because then I can wait forever as in meditation. It's waiting for things to get better. But I mean, we're not here just to meditate. We're here to do something about some things and really enjoy our life, and that's what we need to do. But anyways, I better get going. Thank you guys for showing up, for joining us in this awesome radio show here on live stream, and I look forward to seeing you all again, because we do plan to do more of those. I think this would be totally awesome and actually see a lot more people involved.
Yeah, thank you, Drew, for coming along. Yeah, I'll gather up the URLs and the links to the videos and post them in a private message, and you can share them later, and post them around, whatever. Yeah, it's been great. I know we've had some glitches tonight, but I think we're getting there. It's been fun. So thank you for anyone listening, and we'll do it again.
User disconnected from your channel.